so our roommates there, we had a couple of interesting roommates. One of them was a guy named Bernie Easterbrook. He's in Canada, but he'd done his mission in South Africa, and he and his companion actually won the national championship of the fast walker race in South Africa. It was great publicity for the church, I guess. I don't know. But he was a kind of an excitable guy, and he was pretty amusing. He had a lot of funny stories to tell. We had another guy named Paul Sherbill, and his dad was the mayor of Big Piney, Wyoming, which, Big Piney it is piney. I'm not sure if big counts for anything there, but Paul wanted to go on a snowshoe hike. And so we all piled in his car and went up to his parents. And on the way, we hit a deer. There's these huge herds of deer up in Wyoming at that time of year. And we got to the parents' house, and I had snow crab for the first time in my life, which is astonishing, out in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming, that they had snow crab. That was pretty amazing. And stayed over that night. And then the next day we drove up to, there's a place called Granite Hot Springs in that part of Wyoming. It's really a large engineered pool. I think probably I wouldn't be surprised if the Triple C put that in during the Depression, but very warm water. Really a fun place in the summer. I've been back in the summer. So we snowshoe in. It's about a 10-mile snowshoe hike. And fortunately, somebody had been in there on a snow machine, because I had no idea how hard snowshoeing was. So we had a relatively groomed trail. But even at that point, and none of us were really equipped for this, except maybe Sherbill, he was used to it. But I had my summer weight hiking boots and jeans and stuff. And I mean, it was really kind of dangerous. And we didn't know it was dangerous. It didn't even occur to us. So we hike in, and we get to the last mile and a half was not groomed. It was just breaking trail. And then I discovered what snowshoe hiking was really all about. That was rough. We had to take turns going in front, because it was just exhausting and pouring sweat, in spite of it was so cold that the water moisture would freeze in midair, and you have all these little sparkly water ice crystals that would form just spontaneously. I had hair back then, believe it or not. The frost would form on your hair from your breath. It would just freeze on your hair. It was absolutely brilliantly bright, but absolutely blisteringly cold. Hiking along this really beautiful creek. It was absolutely stunning. It really was. And we get in there, and all that's there is a bathroom changing facility, and this big pond that was just steaming, because it was nice. It was probably about 102, I'd say, something like that. And everybody else got in. I think even Clark got in, but I didn't want to get in, because I knew I'd have to get out again. And it was stupid of me. I should have got in, but I didn't. But the interesting thing was, we also only had summer weight sleeping bags, and you couldn't camp you couldn't set them up in the snow. We didn't come equipped to actually snow camp. So we're in the blockhouse with a cement floor, and we built a fire right at the entrance of it to hopefully warm things up. It just barely took the edge off of it. And so we're in there and spending the night. And it was so dang cold that we decided we'd zip sleeping bags together and put 3 of us in 2 sleeping bags. But of course, we were on the cement floor, and that was also back before I knew what I was doing with cold weather camping. You never want to sleep on a cement floor, even if you've got a sleeping bag, because it'll just suck the cold right out of you. But Clark and another roommate of ours, Pedro Ortiz, and that's who I recollect, shared those sleeping bag set, try and stay warm. And so we're in there spending a miserable night, absolutely miserable, freezing to death. I had an orange that I wanted to eat for breakfast, and it was frozen. And so I tucked it up against me, and it was really cold, and then thawed out. And then I turned the other side over, and it was frozen. And by the time I turned it back over again, I swear the other side was frozen again. Yeah, but yeah, and I'm sure Clark remembers this too. On the way back, it was brutal. My feet, I think I was starting to get a little bit of frostbite. It didn't get there. I probably had the precursor to frostbite, because they were absolutely excruciating because of the cold and everything. But we got back and survived the trip. So that was an adventure I even forgot about until just now.